But på Tottenham.
Who exactly is Tynan Thompson? Why did Manchester United move so early for an 18-year-old who has never played a single minute of senior football? And more importantly, how will Michael Carrick use him to unlock the full power of his game? United believe they have identified something before the rest of the market fully understood it. Thompson is young, unproven, and still far from the finished product, but his profile gives Carrick a new kind of attacking option. The real question is not only what kind of player Thompson can become, it is what his presence could change around him. Could he create more space for United's biggest attackers? Could he add a dimension their system has been missing? Could Carrick turn his raw talent into a weapon opponents are not prepared for? Because if the answer is yes, Thompson may not just become another talented youngster. He could become the piece that makes Manchester United genuinely scary. Tynan Thompson did not suddenly appear because Manchester United made a phone call. His development began in South London with Lambeth Tigers before he joined Tottenham at under-12 level. He spent the next 6 years moving through one of England's most demanding academy systems, eventually reaching under-18 football, the under-21s and England's youth setup. During the 2025-26 season, Tottenham named him in their senior squad 3 times, including major European matchday environments, but he never stepped onto the pitch. That makes his story unusual. He was close enough to senior football to be noticed, but still early enough for another club to take control of the most important stage of his development. Then came the production. United's official announcement credits Thompson with 13 goals and 6 assists from under-18 to under-21 football last season. But the number that truly separates the profile is 7 goals in 7 UEFA Youth League appearances, 1 goal per match in European Academy competition, while operating primarily from the left rather than as a fixed striker. Against Slavia Prague, he scored a hat-trick in a 9-1 victory. These numbers do not prove he is ready for the Premier League. They prove that his talent was already producing decisive actions before his senior career had even begun. But the numbers only explain half of the interest. The footage reveals the type of player producing them. Thompson begins from the left, but he does not play like a winger whose only purpose is to remain near the touchline and collect possession. He wants the attack to move forward. When he receives outside, his first instinct is often vertical. When he releases the ball, he does not stop and watch. He continues toward the area where the move could finish. That is why so many of his best moments begin in one zone and end in another. He can hold the full back outside, wait for the defender's attention to move toward the ball, then accelerate into the blind side. He can drive down the line, attack the inside channel, or arrive at the far post when the attack develops from the opposite wing. His 6 assists also matter. They show that he is not simply a young striker being hidden on the flank. He can carry, combine and create before entering the penalty area himself. Thompson has the starting position of a winger, but many of his decisive actions come from the instincts of a forward. That combination is what makes the profile different, and it is exactly where the connection to Manchester United begins. Manchester United did not move only because Thompson scored goals at youth level. They moved because those goals came from a movement profile their senior attack does not naturally possess in abundance. United have players who want to receive between the lines. They have creators who move toward possession, turn and search for the final pass. Thompson offers the opposite movement. He can move away from the ball and attack the space the creator is trying to find. That distinction may sound small, but it can change the shape of an entire attack. According to TalkSport, United have committed an initial £4 million, with a further $4 million linked to first-team achievements. Neither club officially disclosed the fee, so the figure must remain reported, but the structure makes sense. United pay a serious amount now. The full $8 million only arrives if Thompson reaches meaningful senior milestones. This is not a transfer built around immediate certainty. It is an early investment in a specific weapon made before first-team evidence could multiply the price. United are not simply collecting another talented teenager. They are attempting to buy a future solution while it is still being formed. Now we can examine the problem in detail. Carrick has restored a familiar 4-2-3-1, and the structure has helped several senior players return to their natural roles. Bruno Fernandes receives greater freedom as the number 10. Matheus Cunha can move towards central zone. Kobbie Mu can support attacks from midfield. But the Premier League's own tactical analysis identified a clear imbalance. United did not have a natural left winger, while several players in the squad were most comfortable operating centrally. When the left-sided attacker moves inside, the left-back must provide almost all the width. The pattern becomes easier to predict. One player enters the half space. The fullback runs outside. The opponent narrows the defensive block and keeps the entire attack in front of them. The deeper issue is not simply width, it is depth. United can have several players available to receive, but fewer players threatening the area behind the defensive line. A creator can see a passing lane, but the lane only becomes dangerous when someone attacks it. Without that movement, the opponent can remain compact, defend facing forward and wait for United to play in front of the block. Thompson offers a different question. He can occupy the defender outside before attacking beyond him. He can make the defensive line turn toward its own goal. He can create danger without receiving the ball first. The scary part is not always the finish. It is everything Thompson does before the ball reaches him. Watch his starting position. He stays wide enough to hold the opposing fullback, but he does not remain static. He waits for the defender to look toward possession, then attacks the space outside the defender's field of vision. That timing is more important than pure pace. Speed can beat one opponent. Timing can disturb an entire defensive line. The right back must turn and recover. The nearest centre back must move across. The holding midfielder must protect the passing lane created by that movement. One run forces three defenders to reconsider their positions. Thompson also understands that the move does not finish when he releases the ball. He can pass outside, continue inside and reappear closer to goal. That habit explains his scoring output better than any unverified dribbling percentile. His strongest quality is not simply beating defenders with the ball. It is arriving in the next dangerous space before the defense can adjust. At youth level, that movement has already produced goals repeatedly. The challenge is carrying it into senior football, where the windows are smaller and the defenders react faster. But the instinct is already visible, and instincts of this kind are difficult to teach. Carrick's challenge is not simply finding Thompson a position. It is creating a sequence that unlocks his best movement without removing the qualities that made him dangerous. The natural projection is left wing in a 4-2-3-1. During the first phase, Thompson can begin outside and preserve the team's spacing. That keeps him away from Bruno's creative pocket and prevents United from becoming crowded around the ball too early. As possession advances, his role changes. If Bruno receives facing forward, Thompson attacks behind the fullback. If the striker drops toward the ball, Thompson threatens the space that movement has opened. If United build from the right, he leaves the touchline and attacks the far post. The order is crucial. Wide first, dangerous second. Move inside too early, and United recreate the same congestion they are trying to solve. Remain outside too long, and Thompson becomes disconnected from the goal. Carrick must teach him when to hold, when to accelerate, and when to delay the run until the defender has committed. This is where coaching becomes decisive. The raw movement already exists. Carrick's job is to connect it to Bruno's passing, the striker's positioning, and the rhythm of United's possession. This is a tactical projection rather than a publicly confirmed plan, but it fits the structure Carrick has consistently preferred. Thompson may become useful before he becomes ready to start. His most realistic early role is as a late-game substitute against a defensive line that has already spent 70 minutes moving, pressing and recovering. At that point, Carrick does not need him to control the match or become United's primary creator. The instruction can remain simple. Start high, stay available outside, sprint when the passer looks up, attack the channel when the right back moves forward, reach the far post when the ball develops from the opposite wing. One aggressive run can force the full back 5 meters deeper. A second can pull the centre back away from the striker. Suddenly Bruno receives with an extra second. Cunha can operate closer to goal. The centre forward faces fewer bodies. Thompson's earliest impact may not appear in his own goal or assist column. It may appear in the space his movement gives to the established attackers around him. That is why a young player can influence the first team before becoming a complete first-team player. This is also why the transfer makes sense from a recruitment perspective. United have not paid a completed player price and then hope the player will fit. They have identified a missing profile and invested before the profile became proven at senior level. The reported structure protects both sides. Tottenham receive £4 million immediately and retain the possibility of more if Thompson succeeds. United accept the initial risk, but a significant part of the final cost depends on first-team achievement. If he fails to develop, the damage remains controlled by Premier League standards. If he reaches the level United believe is possible, £8 million could look extremely small compared with the value of a homegrown English attacker capable of contributing at Old Trafford. This is what intelligent upside recruitment is supposed to look like. Not chasing only famous names, not waiting until the market has already decided a player is valuable. Identifying what the team needs, finding the profile early, and building a development pathway before the breakout. The transfer is not automatically successful because the strategy looks logical. Thompson still has to develop, but the thinking behind the move is stronger than simply buying another young name and hoping for the best. And this is where Thompson could make Manchester United genuinely scary, not by immediately becoming their biggest star, but by making the picture easier for the stars already there. Bruno becomes more dangerous when a runner begins moving before the defence is settled. Thompson can give him that target on the left. Cunha becomes more dangerous when he is free to enter central areas instead of being responsible for holding the touchline. The striker becomes more dangerous when the nearest centre-back must decide whether to track Thompson's inside run. United's right-sided attacker becomes more dangerous when crosses and cutbacks gain another body arriving at the far post. Even the left-back benefits because he no longer has to overlap in every attack just to create width. Thompson's movement can distribute responsibility more naturally across the entire front line. That is the real threat. Opponents would no longer be defending only the player in possession. They would be defending the next run, the space behind them, and the extra arrival inside the box. United already have passers. They already have players capable of improvisation. Thompson's value is connecting those qualities to the part of the pitch where damage is actually done. His profile may become even more dangerous when United do not control possession. Carrick's strongest performances have shown a willingness to defend compactly, protect central areas and counter quickly once the ball is recovered. In those moments, the first forward pass only becomes dangerous when somebody immediately attacks depth. Thompson can begin on the left of the block, wait for the opponent's right back to advance, then sprint into the space that defender has abandoned. The choice for the opposition becomes brutal. Chase Thompson and open the centre or protect the middle and allow him to carry toward goal. Bruno can release the pass early. The striker can pin one centre-back. The opposite winger can arrive as the second wave. Against a deep defence, Thompson can help stretch the block. Against a high line, he can attack open grass. Two different match states, one movement profile. That dual threat is what could eventually make him more than an academy project. But here is the twist. The profile fits before the player is proven. Thompson's has no senior appearance, and Opta's public page contains no meaningful senior performance sample. That means there is no honest Premier League ranking for his dribbling, chance creation, pressing or finishing. The useful senior number is 0. 0 appearances, 0 minutes. At the next level, defenders will close his first touch faster. His physical advantages may shrink. His decisions must become quicker. His movement without the ball must also become more disciplined. Carrick's winger cannot simply wait for the transition. He must recognise pressing triggers, block the passing lane inside and recover when the first pressure is beaten. Running power gives Thompson the physical capacity. It does not automatically give him tactical intelligence. United must build the pathway carefully through under 21 matches, first team training, controlled substitute minutes and cup opportunities. A loan may eventually become useful, but only if it develops the same role United want him to perform. The objective is not simply minutes, it is useful minutes. So does Tynan Thompson have enough talent to make Manchester United stronger? There is not enough senior evidence to answer that with certainty, but there is enough evidence to understand why United moved. 13 goals, 6 assists, 7 goals in 7 European youth games. A profile built around direct movement, penalty box arrival, and attacking the space beyond the defence. More importantly, those qualities connect directly to something Carrick's attack still needs. Thompson may not start immediately. He may require months of development or even longer, but United did not sign him to solve everything today. They signed him because the best version of his game could solve a problem that already exists. Bruno gets a runner, Kuna gets freedom, the striker gets space, Carrick gets another way to attack both low blocks and high defensive lines. The talent is real, the risk is real. But if Carrick finds the right role, if the movement survives the jump, and if Thompson turns academy production into senior impact, United will not simply have another promising young winger. They will have a weapon capable of making every attacker around him more dangerous. Manchester United saw the potential early, and now Carrick must turn that potential into fear.